Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we're going to be talking about the number one mistake that I see people making and how to fix it. We're going to talk about one of my biggest tips tonight. So I am super excited to share this information with you guys. Thank you so much for everybody that's hopping on so fast to this Facebook Live tonight. It's certainly a pleasure to be here with you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie Nance. I am the cancer coach. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, certified holistic cancer coach, and coming up on 8-year cancer survivor. Really teaching my body how to be an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. And that's what I do for a living, is teach other people how to do that as well. So thank you again so much for joining. If you have any questions or comments, please share those over in the comment section. I can see that there are several of you here tonight. I can only see that you are here, however, you specifically, if you leave me a comment. So if you want to leave just where you're tuning in from or saying, hi, Leslie, or whatever, I am happy to see all of that. So I have 4 amazing cancer bosses that have said hello already: Jennifer, Anne Marie, Lydia, and Kathy. Total cancer bosses in the house tonight, and super excited that you girls are here with me this evening. So without a lot of fanfare, I want to get right down to this subject tonight, because there is one thing that I see over and over and over again in people's cancer journeys that is a huge mistake. And that thing is when people are allowing cancer to rob them of their power through the way that they even talk about cancer. Now, first off, let me say that when you speak to yourself, that every cell in your body is listening. Whether you'd like to believe that or not, it is scientifically true that our brain translates information through our central nervous system and out to our cellular activity. And so when we think or speak things about ourselves, our body assumes that that is the truth. And so when we allow cancer to rob us of that energy because of the devastation and the trauma and the fear and the anxiety and the sometimes a life-threatening situation that is happening, and then you add on top of that cancer treatments and having to tell your parents and having to tell your kids, and what's this going to do to your spouse, and I'm probably going to lose my job, and all of these other stresses, this snowball that it takes in your life. But there's one thing that people do, and it's the most common mistake that I hear or see, that is even bigger than all of that. And guess what? It doesn't have anything to do with food. It doesn't have anything to do with supplements. It doesn't have anything to do with diet or lack of meditation or any of this. It's the one thing that people do that gives their power away. And I'm so tempted to tease you and say but I'm not. That one thing is not being able to even say the word cancer. Are you surprised? It is the biggest mistake as a cancer coach I see people do. They call it the big C. I have the C word. I hear that a lot. The big C is kind of a thing of the past, but I hear the C word. Or I have people say to me, very proudly say, I don't even give it any attention by not saying its name. I don't even say what it is. And I'm like, so you don't say cancer? And they're like, shh. As if uttering the word is going to conjure up more cancer. As if saying that you have cancer is going to make the cancer worse somehow. It's just a word. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make anything better. It doesn't make anything worse. It's just a word. But what happens is that we allow cancer to steal our energy and steal our power by not being able to even say its name. What if you did this with other things in your life? What if you had a particular thing in your diet that you didn't want to have there anymore, or that I'm trying to think of I don't have any notes tonight, so I'm kind of flying out of the top of my head tonight. But what if you had something particular in your diet that you didn't want there anymore, right? I'll use Diet Dr. Pepper because that used to be one of my biggest vices, and I was just talking to a client about it this morning. And so Diet Dr. Pepper, but I do not drink Diet Dr. Pepper anymore, and I really don't drink Diet Dr. Pepper anymore. So therefore, I'm not even going to say it. Don't even say it around me. This is not taking power away from cancer. This is giving power to cancer. This is showing everything that you're fearful of. This is showing every weak point that you have. This is showing how easy it is to break you. A word can break you? I don't think so. I don't think so. You have to convert that energy into something that is usable for you. Simply not saying a word does not change your diagnosis. It does not change what is happening to you. It only limits your ability to deal with what is happening to you. And I will tell you that every client that I work with is dealing with what is happening to them. They're not tucking tail and running the other way and going, oh, I can't even say the word cancer. No. It's not part of them. They don't have to accept the projected outcome. But in a cancer boss scenario, you take charge. You are large and in charge. This is what I teach my clients. How to not allow cancer to boss you around. And by the way, cancer's bossing you around if you can't even say its name. It has got you under its thumb. And it's not about admitting or fessing up or whatever, reconciliation. It's not about any of that. It's just about not accepting its power in your life. So you have a couple of choices. You can choose to let it boss you around, or you can choose to be the boss of it. Those are your choices. Cancer is bossing you around if you are living in constant fear, looking over your shoulder, thinking that cancer is going to come back. Cancer is bossing you around if you are totally afraid to eat anything because you've read so many diets, and if you put them all together, that means you're not eating anything except like celery. And I'm sure somebody out there says celery is bad for cancer. So you're starving yourself of energy. Cancer is bossing you around if you're spending countless hours awake at night, not being able to sleep or rest or relax. Cancer is bossing you around if you're not able to spend quality time with your family and friends without it constantly interrupting your thought process. Cancer is bossing you around if you think that it's your destiny. Cancer is bossing you around if you are just going full in on treatments and scans and all of these things without asking any questions. If you don't have the confidence to go up against your doctor and say, how do I know that this is what's happening? How can we be for sure that this is the right treatment? Tell me what your plan is. Do you know how many people I have come to me that are so out of control And I asked them, I'm like, so why did they have you on that treatment? I don't know. I don't even know what the treatment's for. What? Cancer's bossing you around. You are putting your life in somebody's hands. And where is your life the safest? In your doctor's hands or in your own hands? Who cares about it more? Your doctor or you? Who lives in that body 24 hours a day? You don't even have to. That's a hypothetical question. Now, this doesn't mean you go rogue and start going, oh, well, I don't believe you. Oh, I'm not doing any of that. It's about being the boss to the point where you gather information and you make a good choice for yourself. You are giving your power away when you are too fearful to even utter the word cancer. How many of you are willing to say out loud right now, right here in this moment, and only if you truly have cancer, I have cancer. I don't have cancer. But how many of you are willing to say that? How many of you are willing to say, I had cancer? Not when I can say, I had cancer. How many of you are even willing to utter those words? And what happens when you do? I can tell you one thing that happens. You're stealing energy from cancer. Because one of the biggest benefits that you can have is looking underneath the bed and seeing the boogeyman and reaching in and grabbing him by the head and pulling him out and staring him right in the eyes and saying, I am not afraid of you. You do not scare me. I am no longer living in that shadow of fear. You may be happening to me, cancer, but I'm not staying there. And you are only a temporary process in my life. When you can't say the word cancer, it's robbing you of energy. You're not robbing it of energy. It's robbing you of energy. I had a client that's right, you take its power away. I had a client that came to me, this has been several years back. I had a client that came to me and we got on the phone call. This was an enrollment phone call. So that's that first free phone call with me. I call it a breakthrough call or enrollment call because what I'm doing is judging if I can help you or not. There's an application to fill out to make sure that we can even do that first phone call. And then we do the first phone call. And then if I can help you, I tell you how. And if I can't, I put you on a path to find the help that you need. And so that first phone call is really, really valuable. And so she was on that first phone call with me and I couldn't even get her to tell me what kind of cancer she had. I said, well, why don't you want to say anything? And she said, well, I just believe that if I speak it with my mouth, then it's going to happen. Okay, wait a second. So you have cancer right now? And she just silent. Okay, can you nod? Can you blink your eyes? I don't know how to help you, because you obviously something's wrong or you wouldn't be contacting me. So I have to assume that it's cancer. So I had to say it all for her. So finally, I got her to admit that she had breast cancer. She had a very early form of breast cancer, very early stage. She was being treated for it medically, just through a lumpectomy and for radiation. But she was so scared of it, she wouldn't even say the words. She wouldn't even talk about it. And she was fearful that if she talked about it, that it would call it into existence in her life. And what I helped, she actually did end up coming into the program. What I helped her understand is that she was allowing cancer to rob her. She was not robbing cancer. It was robbing her, this void in her life that had been created. It was like as if a crater came down and like blasted her life, but she refused to admit that that had happened. And that denial process is damaging. Think about another time in your life when you've been in denial. Maybe it was from your initial diagnosis. You knew that something was wrong. You had a lump, you had a whatever that was something was abnormal. You were losing energy. Something was not right in the body. But you were in denial. I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. It's not a big deal. Right? And how damaging denial is. And the reason we have denial is because we're trying to avoid disappointment. And the reason we have disappointment is because we don't trust our bodies. And all these negative emotions that are not making you inhospitable, that are making you hospitable to cancer. And I'm not going around, I'm not saying you need to go around skipping around like, I have cancer, look at me, I have cancer, yay. I'm not saying you have to be happy about it. I'm not saying that you have to be excited about having cancer. I'm just saying that if you don't even admit what it is or say what it is because of fear of it, then it's just stealing you. It is robbing you blind of the energy that you need to heal. You cannot make anything go away by denying that it's the truth. That's impossible. We have a lot of that going on right now in our society. And I'm not going to get political, and I'm not going to talk about coronavirus because you notice I don't do that. But we have a lot of that denial going on right now. Just that blind eye. If I don't see it, it doesn't exist. If I don't think about it, it doesn't exist. Nope, not saying that word. Not saying cancer. Nope, can't make me say it. Not saying cancer. It's still there. When you uncover your eyes, it's still there. You cannot wish it away. You can't make it go away by avoiding it. My mom is a classic example of this. My mom did not have cancer, but I will tell you her story because I think it really speaks to what I'm talking about tonight. So my mom, unbeknownst to my entire family, well, let me back up a second. In 2008, my mom suffered a massive stroke. She was young. She was in her early 50s and not much older than I am now. And she suffered a massive stroke. And hindsight being 2020, she had been having many strokes leading up to this. In fact, she told me a story that she was in a grocery store one day and her legs went completely numb and she had to slide down. She had to slide down the freezer case and set it on her bum until the feeling came back. And she said, luckily there was nobody in the grocery store, so I didn't have to be embarrassed. And finally the feeling came back and I could stand up, but I had to leave my groceries sitting there and everything. I couldn't put them away. This is my mom. I couldn't put them away or anything. I had to just leave and go get in the car and hope that I was going to make it home. I'm like, Mom, how come you didn't tell anybody? Oh, it just kind of scared me. And I didn't, you know how I hate doctors. Okay. My mom had high blood pressure, out of control blood pressure, super high. So 120 over 80 is normal. My mom was running close to 200 over 100. That's almost death. She was incredibly scary to having a full stroke out. So one day I get my dad calls me and he's like, call your mom. And he said, something's not right. And I said, well, what do you think it is? He's like, I don't know. It's like she's slurring her words or something. I was like, what? So I hung up. My dad was working out of town at the time. So I call my mom. I was living in Colorado. She lived in Texas where I live now. And I call my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, she is like totally slurring her words. And Robin, my husband, was like, she's slurring her words. What else is going on? I was like, I don't know. She's just kind of wonky, like she can't gather her thoughts or anything. I had no idea that it was a stroke. And Robin's like, she is having a stroke. And before I could get off the phone with her in Colorado, he's calling 911 in Fort Worth, getting connected to Fort Worth where my mom lived, calling 911 to get her an ambulance there. He saved her life, by the way. They come, she'd had a massive stroke. She's like, I'm fine, in a very slurred language. I'm fine. I don't need to go in the ambulance. My mom can drive me, my grandmother, my Nana. So then we start hearing stories about all these symptoms that she was having. And my mom is very lucky. She could have very easily died in that scenario. She was in a coma for 4 days. 4 days in a coma in ICU. Would not come out of the coma. We thought we were going to lose her many, many times in that 4 days. The 5th day, she wakes up and she's like, hi. They call me Bugsy and Piddle Paddle. She's like, hi, Bugsy. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Very slurred, very like, blah, blah, blah. And then she would just kind of black out again and she'd just stare like, who are you people? We didn't know what was going to happen to her. The stroke happened in the very center of her brain. And she went into rehab. She was in rehab for almost a month. I was here with her the entire time she went through rehab. Pardon me. She was in rehab for almost a month. Sorry, guys, I have like this massive congestion allergy thing going on right now. No, I don't have COVID. And but she was in rehab, and she actually gained back most of her, well, almost all of her mobility. She had left side weakness, but almost all of her mobility came back in that month. Her speech is still slurred. She sounds drunk when she talks, and it's kind of funny. I'm like, don't get pulled over because they're going to like do a sobriety test because you sound drunk. So her speech is still slurred. And when she talks fast, you can't understand her. And she has, actually, it's way better. It used to be really bad. Short-term memory. She's in a time warp. Like if you ask her what year it is, she's like, 1996. She's totally guessing. She totally guesses. She doesn't guess forward. She always guesses back. And so we play with her on that too, but she knows that she's not normal, but really she's fully functional. She can drive. She's amazing. And really it changed parts of her personality into a beautiful creation, but she missed she didn't miss them. She knew what was happening to her, but she was in full denial for years that something was wrong and that she was at risk for stroke, or that she'd even had several. She talked about one time her hand went numb, like her whole arm and hand went numb. Oh my God. So she'd been having these many strokes for quite some time, and then had this massive stroke that changed all of our lives forever. But she was in denial that something was wrong. And this is the same thing as not being able to say cancer and your name in the same breath. It's not pleasant. It's not awesome. I don't love that I had cancer. That doesn't make me excited or turn me on. I just used it to propel me forward in my life instead of holding me back. And if you can't even admit that you have it, or that you can't even say the word, it's going to always hold you back. It's never going to propel you forward. It's the biggest mistake that I see people make. They give all their power away to cancer by not even being able to utter the words. So how brave are you willing to be? How much are you willing to do and sacrifice and say and believe? Because if you don't believe there's a problem, then you can't fix it. If you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you get there? Don't avoid it. Stare it in the face. Tell it. Tell it that you don't belong here. You are not welcome in my body. I am not a host for you. I am going to make my body so inhospitable that you can't stay here. Some people shower it with gratitude. That's what I do, actually. I shower my past journey with gratitude. I say, thank you so much. You were so timely and so needed and so desired to help me become who I was supposed to be. Thank you for coming into my life. I have learned my lesson. You don't ever have to come back. The teacher and the student relationship is over. I have graduated. I don't need your lessons anymore, but thank you for the valuable lessons that you taught me in my life. Don't be a victim to a word. Don't fall prey to the idea that that word is more powerful than you are, because it's a lie. You are more powerful. You are more valuable. You are stronger. You are braver. You are smarter. And so is your body. Give yourself some credit to be able to deal with the things that have been placed in front of you. Challenges are what make us more beautiful. And I'm going to share this last thought with you, and then I'll move to some questions super fast. So I was watching this movie called Bottle Shock. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on Amazon. Anyway, I don't even know how it came up in my Amazon to-do watch, whatever. I do not watch a lot of TV. I do not watch a lot of movies. I don't have time for it. But I had some downtime this weekend because I was trying to rest a little bit and relax. And actually, I was on the treadmill when I was watching it, but still, that's okay. That's relaxation to me. That's good downtime for me. And so, excuse me. And so I was watching this movie, and it's about the California wine, which I'm not a huge wine drinker, and you shouldn't really if you have cancer. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But I was watching this, and it was about about how the California wine in the 70s came onto the scene, and the French, and how it all happened, and how they got so popular and worldwide, and how the wine went to worldwide, blah, 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 and the French weren't the only ones, and la, 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 la. So anyway, but there was what do they call it? An intern with this vineyard owner, and they were out at the grapes, and he was going along, the vineyard owner was going along, picking up the soil and like holding it and just letting it fall. And she was like, the soil is so dry. And he said, that's the secret. Actually, irrigation is so important for these vines. It's why it's so great that they're on hills, because they get really good, irrigation. And she was like, I don't understand. It seems the plants are so green. It seems like they would have more water than they have. And he said that the grapevine needs to struggle to produce the most aromatic and the most beautiful and the most plentiful crops that have the nuances and the flavors that he needed for his award-winning wine. And he said, so the grapevine needs to struggle to produce those types of grapes. So therefore, we remove irrigation and deplete it of irrigation so that it's forced to struggle. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful, and I'm sure other people have made this connection before, but it was new to me, maybe new to you. But I was thinking, what a beautiful similarity to a cancer journey. What if you need to struggle to make something beautiful in your life? What if you need less of some things to create more of something that becomes more important in your life? What if cancer is here to teach you something about yourself that you would have never known without it? That's important, right? What if you were here to savor the nuances of life, the meaning for you, how beautiful life is? And the struggle is here for that purpose, to help you grow stronger and more. He went on to talk about this. The vine's more strong, more resilient to pest, more perfect, sweeter. What a beautiful recognition of something. And again, this is not about jumping up and down and saying, yay, I have cancer. This is recognizing that it could be something very powerful in your life. And what if you missed that opportunity because you couldn't even say the name? It had you in jail, wrapped up in concern and doubt and fear and anger and guilt and frustration and mortality. But what if indeed it was here to make you stronger, deeper roots, bigger leaves, beautiful grapes, amazing harvest, sweeter life? That is all I have for you this evening. If you are leaving now, thank you so much for being here. Is it next Tuesday? I will be here next Tuesday. Not the Tuesday after that, though. I will be here next Tuesday to share the Cancer Coach Talks with you. Again, my name is Leslie Nance, certified holistic nutritionist, certified holistic cancer coach, and almost 8-year cancer survivor, here to teach you how to make your body an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. And I'm going to read some comments. Okay, here we go. Right? All right, so here we go. Going over here. I almost lost my voice today. Hello, hello. Hi, Dolly. Hi, Janice. Hello. Hi, JD. It's good to see you. Hi, Laura. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Kathy said, that was me. Since we spoke last week, I haven't said the word cancer more in the last week than I said when I was diagnosed 2 years ago. Right? I know, we had this conversation. Kathy was not even able to say that she was going through chemo. She would call it something else, treatments, or have another word for it. And now she's acknowledging and bossing around what is happening in her life as opposed to it bossing her around. She is an amazing, amazing cancer boss and had some amazing news today as well. Kathy, can I share your news today? Is that okay with you? Just let me know in the comments. Jennifer, yes, you are cancer boss lady, right? Lydia is saying, I'm going to share Lydia's story in the next couple of weeks. Lydia is saying, yes, find a doctor that will answer your questions. Lydia learned the value of this just recently and super excited about moving her forward in her journey and working through that process with her. So yay, I can't wait to talk to you this week. Let's see. Thank you, Roger. Hi, Roger. It's good to see you. Oh, look at you guys. You guys are shouting it out. Lily is saying, I have cancer. Dolly Lee is saying, I have cancer. Anne Marie is saying, I had cancer. Tracy. Oh, wait, you guys got to see these. These are awesome. Look at this. Look, Lily. Yeah, you go, girl. Right? Look at Dolly. I got this. Anne Marie, I had. Love it, love it, love it. Tracy, look at this. I had cancer. I'm the boss of cancer. I love it. I love it. Yes, you take its power away instead of vice versa. Kathy, I have cancer. I'm going through chemo and I'm kicking its butt. Yes, I agree. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, there is lots of fear mongering. Yes. Francis, good point. Us being able to say it helps our friends and family be able to use the word too. You're absolutely right. And the more confidence you have, a lot of people are always worried about their family and friends and how they're going to deal with this. But the more confidence you have, then that means the more confidence that they're going to have. And that energy translates back to you as well. So you get less fear energy back at you and more like, she's totally got this. And that's what you need. That's the energy exchange that you need. So yes. Okay. So you guys are welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah. What about the grapes? The grapes are awesome for you. Don't hesitate on the grapes, just not the wine. Yes. Oh, thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. Rosetta saying, I still can't say it. You'll get there. That's okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Hi, Janice. Oh, good. I love it. Thank you. Yes, I do the same thing. Me too, finding out. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. A life lesson. Yes, for sure. Don't give your power away. Okay, so Kathy says I can shout out her news. So Kathy is one of my clients. She's an active client right now. And she is actually in a clinical trial, and it was not without a lot of thought and prayer and deliberation about going into this trial. And other treatments have not been incredibly successful for her. And this trial is brand new for her. She's only had a couple of treatments, and she just got news that her tumor markers dropped significantly with just a few treatments. And they've not been able to move the marker on that with other treatments. So holla up in here. I'm so excited. I just got this news like right before I came on with you guys tonight. So yes, amazing, amazing news. Congratulations to you, Kathy. I am just waiting for the news of, hey, Leslie, I don't have cancer anymore. I know that's coming. So love it, love it, love it. Yes. Yes, Dolly, if you have not, if you're not working with a doctor that you respect and love and cherish and are comfortable putting your life in their hands, then you need another doctor. Bottom line, it's very important to healing. Yeah. Yes, yes. Love it. All right. You guys are going too fast for me tonight. I know. Yay for Kathy. I know. Francis is asking what med this is. Actually, I don't usually shout out particular meds because it throws people off track. But if you have questions, you are welcome to reach out to me and book a call. I'm happy to talk to you about your particular journey. So yes, I know. It's awesome. All right, guys, I am out of here. I have my oven on. I am going to go make some roasted vegetables and have dinner, which I haven't had a chance to get to tonight. So love you guys a bunch. I will see you. I just like got Anne-Marie up there. Love you guys bunches. And I will see you next week on the Cancer Coach Talks. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Any questions about tonight or about cancer in general, I am happy to love you and serve you through this process. So do not hesitate for 2 seconds to say, Leslie, I need help. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye, everybody. See ya. Oh, wait. Hey, you. Hey, wait. Hold on. Wait. Cancer's not your destiny. Love you guys. Bye.